All right, guys, so I just pulled up to Bradenton Cardiology where I have my Duplex scan today, my Doppler, whatever it is. It's kind of like my yearly thing for my PAD, peripheral artery disease. Even though I know I'm doing well, like today I walked 3 miles, 3% incline, and I went from 3 to 3.5 miles an hour. Still get super anxious when I come here. Although one time my first time here, when I got my scan when I moved to Florida, the person who did my scan said, "You'll be the first one to know something's wrong, not from the scan." So she kind of explained, like, if something goes wrong, you're going to feel it before you get into a scan. But still nerve-wracking when you get here. All right, so it's been about a week since my Duplex, my scan. And before I get into my numbers, in case you've never had it, I'll show a little video of what it kind of looks like in the room I go into at my doctor's office when I do my scan. But basically, I go in, I lay under a blanket. They bring their little machine out. It's kind of similar to, might be the same exact thing as like when you do an ultrasound on your baby when you're pregnant. But they put some gel on, they go down, they do, even though my right leg is okay, or it always has been, they check my right leg, then they come over and they basically map out my entire left leg, which goes all the way down to my foot. And after having so many of these procedures, it's nice that I know what I'm listening for and what you don't want to hear. And then after they finish that, then they go ahead and they check blood pressures in both my arms, both my ankles and my toes to get my ABI and my TBI. Back in Cincinnati, never did a TBI, so this is something new for me, at least up here or down here in Florida. So just a quick recap. My first angio was in August of 2020. Yeah, August of 2020. And then like 10 days later, I had a second one. It was September 2nd or something like that of 2020. Then I had another one in January of 2021. And I went back in for another one in September of 2021. And that's when we figured out that my femoral artery was blocked by scar tissue. And then I had a fem-pop bypass in November of 2021. Now, after my bypass, my ABI, my left leg, was 1.14. And then I had another scan in May of 2022, just before we were moving to Florida, and it was down to 0.9. Get down here into Florida, and that's when I started going to Bradenton Cardiology. And my ABI in the fall of 2022 was 0.9 still, so it stayed the same after 6 months. And then I had another one in the summer of 2023, and it dropped down to 0.88. And then now, my ABI is up to 0.96. So that makes me super happy. I really like that. I'm doing tons of walking. We bought a treadmill earlier this year, and for probably 5 months, I did all my walks at 2.5% incline, mostly around 3 miles an hour, 2 miles, almost, I'd say 6 to 7 days a week. Lately, I bumped it up to 3%, and I'm walking, there's sometimes I'm walking up to 3.5 miles an hour at the end of my walks, at least 2 miles, sometimes 3. So things are working. I've also been doing something called the Beamer therapy, which is PEMF. And I've been doing the PEMF for, since we almost moved here. So fall of 2022. I'll never not use it. I know someone who has dealt with blood clots. She's been using the Beamer and, seeing somebody else for special blood work, which I do also. And she has gone, I think she's probably at close to 10 years, never had any more blood clots. She doesn't take her warfarin anymore. Now, I don't know if I'll ever feel comfortable, stopping taking my blood thinner, at least warfarin. But if I can get to the point where I never have to go in for another angio or ever have any issues with my bypass, that's my goal, and that's what I'm working for. But in addition to working with my, hematologist for my blood thinners and stuff like that, I also see somebody who has like a private practice. In her practice, she's done more blood work than any doctor has ever done I do it every year. So working with this other person, there's things that she says that are not right with my blood work that doctors have never said anything about. I was super low in B vitamins. My taurine levels were super low. She's big on your omega profile. I think that's what it's called. There's a couple different things. I'll need to do a video on just my blood work. I'll have to get all that paperwork out, go over it, so I know what I'm talking about. Because right now, like trying to think about it and just talk off the top of my head's not working. But so I take warfarin, I take Plavix, and then I have asthma. But those are the only prescriptions I take. And the supplements I take fish oil. I'm probably close to 8 grams of fish oil a day. I take, I'm at 15,000 IUs of vitamin D because my vitamin D's always been low. I do vitamin B12 under my tongue, and then I take some B complexes. And I do that stuff because my CRP and my homocysteine, even though it wasn't too high, like out of range for what doctors say, was on the high range. And the person I'm working with says that we need to lower those. Now, I don't know if what I'm doing is really going to help, but I figure if it's not going to take up too much time, effort, or money, why not try it? But just a quick recap. Last year, my ABI was at 0.88. It sounds weird when I say it. And now I'm up to 0.96, which makes me happy. The only bad thing I did see is my TBI, my toe brachial index, did go down. I won't see my doctor until about a week and a half, and we can kind of figure out what that is or what that means. So if you have PAD, they kind of go off levels of pain, 1 through 5, 5 being unbearable. When I walk now, my 2 miles, I might be at a level 1 when I hit about a mile, and it usually doesn't go above that. Every once in a while, I might go up to a 2, and there's sometimes where I'll walk, and I'll have some pain start, and it goes away, but it never goes above a 2. I never have to stop walking, and all my pain's in my foot. And it has been since my bypass. I don't have any pain in my calf. So I know things are going well. It'll just be interesting to see what the doctor says about what he thinks about my ABI, how my bypass looked, my collateral arteries, and my TBI. Once I have my doctor's appointment and I talk to him, I'll come back on and I'll talk about it. But I think that's about it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.